Hello. We are back with another episode of Venture with Joe and Cody. I'm Joe Skipper, the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and that is Cody Wilhelm. Over to my left, your right, or my right, your
I'm
left, with
here,
Residential
wherever.
Mortgage. What's up, my man?
Just hanging out, loving
Yeah,
life. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's August. It's like August is the best month in the
is it
world.
because it's my birthday?
It's because it's our birthday.
It's both of our birthdays. When is your
Yeah,
birthday?
I'm the 30th.
Okay, I'm the 20th.
When are you?
So
20th.
yeah,
Okay.
we just need
So
to have it.
yeah, I mean, why? How does
That's
it get any better?
It doesn't. The fires suck.
Yeah.
Prayers are out for the people that are in it and having to deal with
Yeah.
that loss, but it does suck for community and health and all that
hmm
stuff too. So we're dealing with that, but August is going well.
Yep.
You know, one thing, a pet peeve of mine that just got emailed to me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I did something
No,
just
not
now.
not that you do.
When you talk, that is
No,
like a
this
huge pet
this
peeve.
title, this escrow officer, this title person that I just saw with clients that were signing. She was like, yeah, they don't, it's really more rare than you think that agents show up to your signing. And so it
Yeah.
was like, good to see you there. I'm like, agents, and there's a particular guy on TikTok and social media that like acts super the trend now with real estate. I'm just going to go off on this huge
Hit
thing.
me.
The trend now with real estate is people that do not know how to sell a home that are selling how to sell homes online. Buyer package,
Oh
do
yeah.
this because this is the new thing. Like agents that do this are stupid, and I'll tell you the best way to do things. And one in particular, he said this, and I think I've told you this. He said, "Oh, you're wasting your time if you go to the title company." And I'm like, bro, don't act like you are so important in your life that you can't go
Right.
with your clients to help them through a signing of
hmm
the one of the biggest purchases they're going to make and probably have a ton of questions on. And it's just
Yeah.
it pisses me off because it's like he's just one of many that like
Yeah.
claim these like these tools that I have that I'm going to make you the most successful agent in the world, and how other things just don't work. And if you ever looked at their stats, you're like, you haven't sold anything in years. All you're selling is a
Right.
product. Anyways, it just like kind of reminded me that like if you're an agent and you think you don't have to go with your client to a signing, you're not a good agent. And your
hmm
clients probably will never come back to you. And I hope they don't, because
Yeah.
you like that is the most I don't want to say vulnerable is the right word, but the most like confusing time to have 80 million pages in front of you of
Yeah.
all the documents that you need. And
hmm
most title companies are good about explaining everything, but some aren't. And I've been there when they're sitting down and I have to explain stuff because the title agent's like,
Sure.
sign here,
Here's a form.
sign
Read
here,
it.
sign here.
Uh-huh.
And I think to myself, I'm like, anyways, you can give your opinion. My opinion is clear that you as an agent need to go with your clients. If you can't make it, that's one thing. But
Sure.
to think that your time is so valuable that your clients don't matter at a signing is silly. And it takes 30, 45 minutes max.
Right.
So don't tell me your
Yeah.
time is worth
Uh-huh.
that. But anyways,
I'm
you can
I'm
you
on the
can give
same
your
boat.
you can give your opinion.
I've always liked to go, not only for the support part of it, but it's like most of the time this is the most exciting part of it all.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you want to be there? Even if things were weird and rocky and you had to go through all these hoops and everything, like it is like the time that brings everything together. And I don't think from a buyer's perspective, or I don't know that they feel like they're not expecting you to go there. So I feel
Yeah.
like every time I go, which I'm
Yes.
the
Isn't
same.
that crazy?
I try to go as many times as I can. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to be here." Or I'll check in with them like, "Hey, I'll see you there." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that you go to these." And it's not only a nice surprise, but it's like a support thing. It's like, "Yeah, I'm going to see you all the way through this whole thing, and I'm not just, now that you're ready to sign, I don't just dip out here, but I do
Yeah.
feel like it's a I don't need to be there." I've heard from some people where they're like, it is actually a conflict of interest for me to be there. Like as a real estate agent, I like legally I shouldn't be there. I'm like, I've never heard that before, but I don't know why you wouldn't just go, even if you're just sitting you're just in the room just to be
Yeah.
a support person, right? Like, hey, I'm excited for you guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Explain to
It
me
to
that
me is
conflict of
like,
interest, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But
I know.
I'm trying to be open-minded about it, but it's a laziness in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing been conflict. I'm not arguing anything. I'm not pitching anything. I'm
Yeah,
sitting there
exactly.
99% of the time. I'm sitting there silent and making jokes so that the
Yes.
awkward silence is not just
Right.
awkward. I
You
was
gotta
like,
fill the void.
I want to be like, one suggestion I have for title companies is put some background music in your conference rooms. Like
Yes.
when you're sitting there, even the best people, like you sit there and you're just like hearing everyone breathe, like there's a stomach growling because it's like lunchtime, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. Can we like
All
at
you hear
least
is
have
this
some sort of music? Yes. And everyone's
shuffling
just
through.
like, and
Okay,
then you're
sign.
like staring at their signature, and you're like, I shouldn't be looking at, like they're nervous because you're staring at them. I'm like,
Yes.
can we just put some background music, just some,
Yeah.
just anything, just a
Put on
dentist
some
office
cartoons
music
or something.
or some sort of
Yeah.
thing. So
I'm with you.
anyways, yeah, agents, you
Yeah.
need to go to this stuff. And please, if you have a great explanation of why we shouldn't, maybe I've been wrong for years, but I just don't think I am. And I generally, as Christina will tell you, I'm generally not wrong. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and she,
it's an
haven't
odd
seen it
thing
yet.
for sure.
Haven't seen it yet.
Uh-huh.
43 years old and haven't seen it.
Yes.
Not on this note at all. And we are going to get into the Blazers and we're going to get into what this means.
Yes.
But on a personal note, because you'll appreciate this, is went to Yamhill County, the fair last week. The Yamhill County
Derby
Fair, my
Days or the Yamhill
nephews
County Fair?
and niece. No, Yamhill County Fair. Derby Days was like
Okay.
before that, right?
I don't even remember when Derby
Anyways.
Days is. Yeah.
Went to the fair because my nephews and my niece do showing. So they have like the pigs,
Okay.
sheep, and my niece has a bunny. And so they
Nice.
do that and then they sell it and all that stuff. So I didn't unfortunately get to go to the showings when they're like, guiding them and doing all the stuff and getting judged. But I went to the auctions and stuff and saw a lot of the Yamhill
nice.
County crew and all that sort of stuff. So you'll have to come sometime because it's something that
I'd
I
love
don't
to.
think about going, but I think when I get there, Christina and Rory were there and they were like, we got to go. Like, because you just
Yeah.
run into people and they
Sure.
just started walking. They're like, if we keep you here, like you could be here. And it's not like I'm
You're
Mr.
good.
Popular, but it's such a small town that when those sort of things happen, like everyone's around. And it was like, a bunch of people that you probably knew and, that we've known. It's just kind of fun. And I'm like,
I'll have to do that. That's in McMinnville?
yeah. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
when I go there, I'm like, after I go there, I'm like, man, I could have just stayed there all day. Like going there, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get in. Like I want to see my nephews. I want to see all this and it'll be fun. But it's like now, when I'm leaving, I'm like, I could have just sat there and hung out with everyone.
Right? Just catch up with
It's
people.
just a nice feeling. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
Derby Days. But
Yes,
Yamhill
I
Derby
know.
Days, Yamhill County
We've
Fair.
got the Clark County Fair that starts this week, I think, this
Okay.
weekend maybe. So
Nice.
we'll
you
usually
guys go to
We've
that?
we'll usually go at least one day.
Yeah.
We've got one of our friends. It's our pastor's dad, and he's got like all sorts of animals, and one of them, the big attraction is a camel. And
Okay.
so his name's Curly the Camel. And so Sarah is she's going to go work it one day with him. And then I think she's going to do it another day and bring the kids, where he's just got like, it's just a camel and a donkey and an ox and like every
That's
kind
cool.
of,
That's
he's
cool.
got like the whole nativity scene plus also other stuff. So
Nice.
that's usually what the kids like the most. It's just the animal portion of it, like
No, that's
walking
great.
around, looking at the cows and everything. And
yeah, it was cool. Like seeing like he kind of like my nephew Jack kind of explained all the, what makes a good pig or what they score or what they, and then the sheep, like their legs and how they, so all the stuff, it's kind of interesting. And they're all,
that's cool.
yeah, all just hanging around. It's kind of like cool to see all these little mini farm kids, like, raising the little animals. So it's kind of fun to watch. But
it's a cool experience.
On the camel note, it's so funny, and tell me if you think this is the same thing. I saw something online. It was a picture of camels in their like in nature, like just camels. And the caption was like, I don't ever think I don't until I saw this picture, I never knew camels existed in the wild. Like I always assumed that they were just there for people.
Sure.
Like for like and I thought about it and I was like, that's true. I couldn't tell you where camels actually live naturally.
Right.
Like
I don't know either.
That person's thought process was like so right on. I was like, I don't think I've ever given a thought that camels are in nature. Like I
hey,
thought
somebody
they were
lost
born,
their camel.
Yes, I thought they were born in into like service. Like where are camels from? Like I don't even know where they're from. Like
I've never thought of that. I've never processed where
Isn't that
in
nuts?
the world where you always just hear about them being over like Middle East,
For
or
sure.
that's just kind of where they're at. So maybe there's just like deserts where camels just
Just
roam
roam
free.
around like
Yeah.
wild, like, and how
I
how
don't
do
know.
wild camels act? I don't even know like anything about it. And I was like going with Rory. He's like, "You're an idiot, Dad." But I was like,
Yeah.
"You think horses? I know there's wild horses, but I also know
Yes.
there's ones that are trained. Like horses,
Uh-huh.
that would be one I think
Right.
like shouldn't be natural. Like I should have the same thinking of thought about horses as I do about camels, but I don't. I know there's
I
wild horses, like, but
I'm gonna
camels, I'm like, I have no idea where you're from, camel.
I'm
Like,
gonna find out. I'm gonna talk to Jeff, the guy that's got the camel, and
isn't
because he's
that
had the
so funny
camels like
though?
ever since it was a little baby. So
Yeah.
he's had it for like 20 something years. So I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna pick his brain and
It was
see.
such a great like picture though, and then the caption just
Yes,
saying, "Until today, I had no idea camels were wild." Like,
that is. I mean, that is one of those animals that is you would. I don't know.
who are the who
Everything
are the
else makes
camel's
sense.
predators? What is their
Right.
like what does a camel do? Like, and what are they running from? Like, I want to see in National Geographic, did you ever see a camel National Geographic
No.
of like, hey,
And
here's
I
a
looked at a lot
lion
of
hunting a
those.
camel, or
Right.
like this is where the camel naturally I've never seen it. Never seen it.
No.
So,
Yeah, like you go on a
anyways,
safari.
yeah.
You're like, oh, look at all
They're
these other animals.
But
Hey,
that's
look, a camel.
that's what they're supposed to be there for. To
Yes.
feed outside your window. Like when
Right.
you need to feed the animals, a
Yes.
camel is there, or you want a
Oh,
camel
that is
ride.
interesting.
Like,
I had
yeah,
never thought of that.
I know. It's crazy. And I
I'm
never
gonna do
had
some
been
research.
motivated enough to actually care about it
Right.
afterwards. But it was such a cool photo. But anyways,
Oh,
on camels. Well,
that's great. Supporting the
on to the
camels.
real estate world, because we should probably dive into some of this stuff. But
Yes.
if you haven't been paying attention or listening to anything locally, the Blazers may be moving. If you don't know, Blazers are an NBA team in Portland, and the owner has recently indicated, well, he's never made it a secret that he has no care
Yeah.
for Tom Dunn, has no care for the Blazers staying here or going. So
Mm-hmm.
the ramifications of that are huge, and so I figured Cody and I'll just chat this over and kind of give our thoughts and what could happen, what our thoughts are
Mm-hmm.
on it, pros and cons of why we think it's happening in general, and what it could mean for the Portland Metro and the Vancouver areas losing an
Yeah.
NBA team similar to the Sonics, Supersonics.
Right. I think
So,
it would be. I mean, it would be terrible. I'm a sports fan. I'm a Blazers
mhm.
fan. Last thing I want is for that to go away. But the more I've been, because it's on sports radio a lot, and I usually listen
Yeah,
on my way to work and to and from. I usually listen to sports radio, and it's all local stuff. And they've been talking about it a lot over the last couple weeks. And one thing that they keep hammering on, and they have brought a couple people on too, is it is not just it's not just like having the team here. It's the building, the Moda Center, is owned by the city of Portland, and it would be such a huge loss. Obviously, the Moda Center would stay there, but the amount of general revenue for the city of Portland, for everything, for employees, for all that stuff, it's like I think sometimes it's getting overlooked as what the impact would be on the state and the city and surrounding areas. Like, because I think some people that probably don't care about sports, they're like, whatever. I don't want my taxes to go up. I don't want any changes to happen. Screw it. Whatever. They're spoiled. They're overpaid. But I think the impact itself would be massive, not only just in the real estate side, but just in general. Like, I did a little bit of looking just to kind of try to get an idea on numbers. And this is just a snippet, but it says if the Portland Trailblazers moved out of state, the direct annual tax revenue loss for local government is estimated at roughly 11 to 18 million, while the broader Rose Quarter economic activity footprint theoretically spans over 600 million, though independent economists note true net losses are far smaller. And 11 to 18 million might seem like a small amount to some people, but I feel like for a city that's trying to kind of rebuild and rebrand, and I think this would do so much damage from an outsider's perspective of Portland, because I think there's already a not as great of an image over the years,
for sure, absolutely.
and you've got bigger businesses that are moving out of Oregon or Portland, and it would just be kind of like, oh well, yeah, this confirms the city is falling apart.
Yep,
Even if it's
absolutely.
not, it's going to be
Yep.
the image of, wow, the Blazers don't even want to stay in Portland, and they've been there since what, the 60s, 70s?
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing is like, we can get into the numbers and the data and all that because I found some data on when the Seattle Sonics left and in Oklahoma, when Seattle went to Oklahoma and what was it? What was the other one?
Well, like,
Basically what it indicated was that it wasn't as drastic of a prices actually increased in the Seattle area when the Seattle Sonics left. I don't think that's not a causation or a correlation. It's
sure.
maybe a correlation, but I say that with caution because I think Seattle's different than Portland. You brought up a great point. Portland has over the years gotten the reputation that it is a failing city. You can say it's not. You can give me data that it's not. But the average person that hears the word Portland that is not in Portland is like, oh yeah, they're struggling. Like they're chaotic. There's homeless everywhere. There's protests everywhere. There's just lawlessness basically.
Yeah.
In Portland. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. It's what people think. The Blazers leaving Portland, if they do leave, would just accentuate what you just said. They'd be like, yep, the Blazers are leaving because Portland's a shithole. Like, and that's what it is. And so, again, whether you like it or not, you have to hear this. And I think that the problem, in my personal opinion, is that the leaders in Portland have let this get to this point. I think this ultimate owner, I think the deals, from what little I know behind it, that this deal was not done properly. Other places, I think the Mavericks, I think a couple other teams, when they sold, they basically had a clause in there that you'll stay. If we're selling it to you, you'll stay. And I don't think that happened in this case, which is unfortunate. So there wasn't a good deal made to keep them here, under contract of a sale. So that sucks. That was just a bad deal, I think. This guy hasn't made, people hate this guy as the owner, what's his face?
Tom Dundon.
But I think he's a businessman. He's made it. He didn't come in and say, I'm keeping the Blazers here and then change his mind around.
Yeah.
He has made no inclination that he wants to keep the Blazers here. So I can't even be mad at him. Right. I think if you have to look to, blame anyone, it's the leadership in the Portland area. I think they have made it, at least. Again, you can argue that it's business friendly. You can argue that restaurants are booming. You can argue that the homeless is not there. But for whatever reason, no one believes you. So the leadership in Portland has made a reputation in Portland as a place that people don't want to go. Like, and why would a team want to stay? And a guy coming that bought the Blazers isn't from Oregon, why would he want to stay? Like, what's the incentive so you want him to fight this reputation and say, no, everything's fine in Portland. Everything's fine. Don't look here. Don't look here. It's like, I can't blame him. Like, if you're going to blame anyone, it's our leadership in Portland that has been just, I think, taken for granted that the Blazers will be there forever. And personally, I think it's a lack of knowledge of business in general, but that's my personal thing. Is like, you have whether you like it or not, Portland has been this, like, in Oregon has been this community that is inclusive and embracing everyone and all this stuff. But I think they also, with the inclusiveness, brought an exclusion of businesses. And businesses are feeling it. If any business owner you say would say, yes, you're exactly right. The condo market in Portland is absolutely tanked. They just built that new condo high rise in Portland that has now selling for half off their condos.
Wow.
So the facts are out there. You can argue with me all you want, and the comments will come in that I'm wrong, but that's what I think is happening with the Blazers, and it's really unfortunate.
I agree. And I think that, Tom Dundon, for those that don't know, he bought the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I think that's their name. Yeah.
Yep.
And they were like the worst hockey team. And after 8 years that he's owned them, he's completely turned them around. They've won the Stanley Cup, made it to the playoffs, I want to say, every year since he bought, or at least after the first year. So I feel like good business owners sometimes are not the most likable people because they're going to do what a lot of people wouldn't do because you're going to hurt feelings. You're going to have to lay people off. You're going to have to change structuring and all that stuff. So I think that he probably knew what he was, him and his team and the other investors, they knew what they were getting into.
Yep.
And it's like, well, all right, if this works, then it works. If not, then we'll move to somewhere else, because I've heard him talk about, how high the taxes are here. And but I think from a like the city of Portland, because from what I understand too, just through all my listening and research and stuff, it's really the city of Portland coming up with the 120 million is what's kind of left on the table.
Yeah.
And they can pull that from a variety of different investments that they have. One of them, like the one that's been talked about the most on the radio, at least, is like it's like the green energy fund kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it would just delay certain things that they would be investing into, but the money is all there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was even talking about how, part of that renovation could be done with the intent of making it more sustainable energy. And
Yeah.
I just think that it would hurt so much more to have them leave, because how are you're not, you're not a Seattle where,
No.
Seattle's
Nope.
supposed to expand and they're supposed to get
No.
a NBA team here
For
really
sure.
soon. I don't know if or when that would ever even happen again. And that's the only professional. I mean, we've got the Timbers soccer and we've got the Portland Fire, but can the Fire stay here if the Blazers are
Yeah, I don't
gone
know.
and the revenue? Can the city continue to manage and maintain the building? Because it's already, I mean, I went through a ton of stuff and there's like, it's $600 million that they need just to renovate it, to get it to where it's current. That doesn't even include the general maintenance that goes along with it too. So it's like your main tenant of that building is the Blazers. Outside of that, you've got the Fire now, and then you've got concerts.
For sure.
I don't think that that's going to generate enough revenue to maintain a building that needs $600 million worth of work to be done to it. I don't know. But
yeah, no, I think, it's, I
would
think the
sting.
money is going to come out of
I do too.
almost a begrudgingly though. And that's the thing I want to get across in this talk with me and you, and not that anyone cares, is
Mhm.
you have made them a necessary evil versus a contributor to the economy of Portland. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's happening is they're going to give them the money, but it's going to be this like, ugh, here you go. If this is going to keep you staying. And that's the difference. And it's not that I was looking at I was looking at Seattle, LA, all these places that have really high taxes, really terrible for like income for the
Yeah.
players or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're getting taxed like crazy, but they're still got a super successful teams, and the teams are going to stay. There's no doubt they're going to stay.
Uh-huh.
So what makes Portland different? What makes Portland that place that's like on that verge of failure? And I think it's ultimately a culture of not caring about businesses. And the NBA is a business. So it's not just not caring about sports. It's that you did not make this town a business friendly town to live in. And it's always begrudgingly giving to businesses versus like, we need you, whether we politically agree with you, whether we, don't like your stance on X or whatever this is, or what's your policy on, everything. That's what Portland always, at least in my opinion, Portland always came in at like, what do you believe in? Then we'll support you. Versus like, what is best for the community and the economy? And, talk about that stuff secondary. I know that's not important topics, but you can't run a state or a city by saying I'm only allowing or only going to be friendly with people that believe what I believe, like personally or culturally, or and that's I think what Portland's done is said we'll embrace anyone that believes what we believe. Anyone that doesn't, we don't even want to talk to you. And I think, and I'm not even saying that Dundon doesn't believe what they believe. I just think that the NBA and the Blazer culture or the Blazers are just something they took for granted and they didn't care about. And I don't think it's the main topic or the main catalyst that brought Portland down. I think Portland has been reputationally struggling. Give me the data to show that you're just booming in Portland, and I'll say I'm wrong. But reputationally, they're struggling. The Blazers are kind of the nail in the coffin that could be the nail in the coffin of Portland if they don't turn it around and not just give them the money, but truly show this is why it's important to stay here. Not just like, please save us, But hey, Portland's
Right.
going to do XYZ for you. This is what we can do for you. This is what we're going to do to the Moda Center. This is what we're going to do to keep the players here. This is what we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be a culture that embraces our sports. And that's what the Seattle Mariners do. That's what the Seattle
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks do. That's what now the future Seattle Supersonics will be doing. It's like they have, and they're not even politically different from
Right.
Portland to Seattle, but Seattle
Yeah.
has found an ability to welcome businesses and welcome these communities, even with all the, all their,
Mm-hmm.
what beliefs they want to have or what culture they want to have in the community. There's obviously demographics and different shifts of what makes Seattle different than Portland, but LA, Portland, all these places, high taxes, very liberal
Mm-hmm.
communities, very culturally similar. Why is Portland, you know,
I
what's
know.
making Portland the place that people are like, we don't want to be here? But I think it's because Portland is doesn't like, I think doesn't,
Yeah.
it's a necessary evil. The Diamond Project to bring an
Right.
MLB team, it's like pulling teeth. It's like rather
Mm-hmm.
than saying, look,
We've
this
been
is
working on
going
that
to
for
bring
years.
money in. How do we make it happen? They're like, ugh, do we have to? Like,
Right.
do we have to? And it's like, you guys are just shooting yourselves in the foot. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways,
Those are such huge opportunities. Those bring in, I mean, I cannot imagine the overall impact for just, especially the surrounding businesses
yeah,
around the Motor Center, within
yeah.
10 miles or so, restaurants, hotels,
Hotels, everything. Yep.
transportation, all that stuff. Like that would be such a huge thing because you think about, I think Portland, and I'm probably biased, growing up here, and there's a really good, strong passion and fan base for a team that's had like little glimpses of being good,
Yeah,
right? But like for a team that's been mediocre for the most of my 40-year life, there's still a ton of people
totally.
that love the Blazers and will love to
Totally.
go to games and love to support. And if they even are, close to a playoff team, I feel like it just grows and grows. Like
Yeah,
there's a love for that team. And I think that it would be a crushing
it would
blow
be.
because
Yeah,
it's having those teams having, and it's not even just the sport, but it's like, I guess a little bit of is reputation too, of like, oh, okay, man, Portland must be doing well. They're
yeah,
getting a baseball team now,
for
and they
sure.
got they got this stuff figured out. But when it's like you can't
When the hits
even
keep
hold on
coming,
to
it's
your
like, yeah,
yeah,
it
can't
just,
even hang on to your basketball team. That's
for
like
sure.
that
That
city
team's been around
loves the
forever.
Blazers.
Like, yes,
Yes,
it's not a lack
right.
of fans. It's a lot, and I think Portland does have dedicated fans and would support sports teams, throughout
Mm-hmm.
the different major league, teams, even with the Portland Fire and all those things. Like they traditionally probably aren't as popular in certain areas, but Portland supports them, and so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's a fan base. I think it's a political culture and a lack of buy-in to
Yeah.
businesses. I think they
Well,
just see them as almost a natural evil or a necessary evil versus like
mm-hmm.
a community building.
Totally. And
And the
can you
money just
imagine
doesn't
it?
support that. Whether
Right.
you like it or not, you need these big businesses in any city, in any town.
Uh-huh.
Like you need big businesses. So
Well, and how much, and maybe they don't care, but how much would it suck if you had a situation where he did have a big impact like he did for his hockey team, and in 5 or 6 years
yeah.
they've turned it around and
And
they're a championship
yeah, in the
caliber
playoffs
team
all the time.
versus
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
playoffs they've
Absolutely.
changed the whole culture and
Yeah,
everything, and it's like now they're like what Oklahoma City is. I know it
for
was
sure.
took a longer time to get there, but they've been they've been good for a bit now. They've had rotating great players that have come through there, and I'm sure just like as a Sonics fan, you're like, dude, this
Yeah,
sucks. Every time
for sure.
OKC has a good year,
For sure. Yeah,
that would
that
have
could have
been
been the
us.
team. Yeah.
Uh huh. And I
But the
don't know.
Seattle has the ability to bring it back. And that's because they have a city that can bring it back. Like and
Hmm.
Seattle had a buffer of support for teams. They still have the Mariners. They have the Seahawks, one of the
Yeah.
top teams in the league. It's like
Hmm.
they I don't want to say they could afford to lose the Sonics, but they could. Like the community would survive. I think that the Blazers don't have anything else. Like
Right.
we have the Timbers and all that stuff, and I'm not knocking that. But if you're looking at high level, high caliber, high income
Hmm.
producing teams, if you lose the Blazers, you're not just gonna be like, oh, in a few years we'll see if we can get them back. Like
Yep.
And
Right.
to tie this into the housing market, I mentioned that Seattle actually saw an increase in their pricing, but because Seattle what is not the same city. Like
Yeah.
like I said, and if we're just talking sports team, this is still the Mariners, still the Seahawks. They have the professional soccer team, Sounders.
Hmm.
They've got Kraken. They've got
Yeah,
they
they've got
have
NHL.
so I think that saying that I think some of the stats would show that okay, it's not necessarily like if the Blazers leave, housing prices would drop, but
Hmm.
the Blazers are here and condos in Portland. If you want to go take a look, there are a lot of them and they're on discount. So, and
Yeah.
that's before the Blazers are leaving. So I can
Right.
only imagine if the Blazers leave, the attraction to Portland, it's just another hit to
Hmm.
them. It's another knock to say homeless, protests, like not business friendly, not safe, and now the Blazers are
Yeah.
leaving for the exact same reasons. You can say it's not because of it, but the
Hmm.
average person is going to say, "Why would I move to Portland? Like to pay a ton in taxes to have nothing there." Like
Yep.
so, yeah, it sucks. Like I think that the hope is that people turn this around and start to kind
Hmm.
of figure out ways to kind of meld, your opinions culturally or your opinions politically and
Hmm.
running a city properly, like
Well,
like a business.
yeah, and it seems to me like if you're a city, if you have impact in the city at a more of a political level, wouldn't you want to be growing and improving that? And like to me, that seems like one of the best ways that you could do that with this on the table is let's figure this out. Let's make this work. We need to make some improvements.
For sure.
Like I don't know what, like you said, the attraction part of it. I think Portland and the general like Pacific Northwest is known for its beauty, and you got
Yeah.
mountains and you
Yeah.
got beaches and you got everything. But if you just like hone in a little bit more from a Portland general area perspective, from an outsider, say the Blazers were gone, you're like, okay, where should we go this year for summer break? Portland, like I don't know. I feel like it minimizes it a
For sure.
lot
Absolutely.
from an attraction, even for people moving, right? If you're just like, hey, I'm going to look in this general area here. Well, Seattle and Portland, they're what, 3 hours away from each
Yeah.
other? It's
Yeah.
not like it's that far. And you have, wow, that seems like it would, they've got the coasts, they've got the mountains, they've got all the same things, but they also have so much more from an entertainment
For
standpoint. And
sure.
like, you got to feel like there is security in your city too with those big, I mean, they're multi-billion-dollar
Yeah.
sports
Yeah.
brands.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. That means businesses want to invest in sponsoring and
Restaurants
all
want
the
to get
stuff that
there. The
goes on.
cute little restaurants you like,
Yeah.
the coffee shops, everything that comes with that. And I think that, yeah, it's my personal opinion, but I think it's just when things were good, you take for granted what you had, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Totally.
keep Portland weird. It's quirky
Yeah.
and voodoo donuts and all the,
Hmm.
like, oh, we're just so weird, and and that's what makes us cool." And it's like I think what was lurking in the background was just resting on that and not
Yes.
actively trying to build the city and make it a top
Hmm.
city to come to. And I think when times were good, people did. They came. It
Yeah.
was cool, and it is a cool city. Like when I go
Totally.
there, I'm like, it is a cool city, and there's so
Yes.
much cool things to do, just like a big city like Seattle. But I think
Hmm.
what's what's happening underneath it all is a political culture that they don't want. They want to keep it weird. They want to keep
Yeah.
it local. They want to keep, these, and I do too. But there is a
Yeah.
balance
Sure.
that we have gone extremely the other way, thinking that we could just get a bunch of little small business owners and they'll pay high taxes and they'll make these
Hmm.
cute restaurants that are internationally known and nationally known, and but they can't
Right.
survive. Like, and so I just think the lack of understanding, and I'm probably going to get hate for this, but it is I think it's just a lack of understanding of how that stuff works, and
Hmm.
the Blazers are just an example. He came in. Unfortunately, we had a guy that's like, I'll leave. Like if we had
Right.
something almost in a good way, it puts a spotlight on some of the weaknesses in order to strengthen them. Like I
Hmm.
think that if someone came in and said, I'm keeping the Blazers here, we could still be in the same underlying condition of Portland,
Oh yeah.
that no one thinks about.
Right.
I think he has put a spotlight on some of the issues, and maybe either Portland's going to say, "Well, that's not true. We're going to stay how we are,"
Hmm.
and lose the Blazers,
Yeah.
or someone's going to say, "Look, every city has its weaknesses. Every person has their biases or whatever. We need to just knock this off and get this city back rolling again."
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, and
Well,
to tie it into the housing market, that helps everyone in the housing market, helps the business
mhm,
people that own condos there, homes there, that want to sell and can't, and buyers that want to move in. Like, you have to make it desirable.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, and like you were talking about the keep Portland weird thing, I feel like that was what it was known for so long, and it was more of like a quirky, fun, independent, non-commercialized
Yeah. Yeah.
weird, right? Like the farmers market or the Saturday market, you could just go downtown, wander around. It was safe. It was, you never knew what you were going to run into, but it wasn't really anything sketchy. It was just like, oh, this is it's like a different little
For
world
sure.
down here,
For
right? But
sure.
it was cool and fun. And
Yeah.
I feel like over time, that is just what it became, where it was like, oh, it's weird, but it's kind of getting a little sketchy
Yeah.
weird now.
Now
And
it's just weird
now it's
sketch.
like,
And
yeah,
then,
like
yeah.
now is
Yeah.
it even safe to go down
For
there? It
sure.
still
For
is,
sure.
it still has the same like non-commercialized feel
Yeah.
to it, which I think that
Yeah.
is what is so cool about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's just skyscrapers
For sure.
everywhere, and it's
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
it's a cool small city, big town, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it,
But
feel
it's gone
to
out
it.
of control, I think. That
It's
weirdness kind of
yeah.
went, it kept extending. And I remember joking years ago of like, keep Portland weird. And it got,
Yes.
when you said that, the actual thing that happened got actually more sketchy and sketchy.
Yeah,
Now it's like
right?
you see a naked homeless guy, like, shooting
Yeah.
up heroin. You're like, keep Portland weird. I'm like, I don't think that was a
Yes.
concept that we needed to like
Right.
keep. That's not just being weird. That is like a city in
Yes.
decline. Like, and I think that
Uh-huh.
you're right. Like, I know we're using just this dumb phrase for a whole city, but it was like that. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
the unicycler, the guy with the
Yes.
unicycle, that was cool.
He's
It was
like juggling
it was
flaming.
weird, but it was cool.
Uh-huh.
Like, and
Yes.
now it's like, oh, there's a homeless person fighting another homeless person for drugs, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, keep Portland weird. It's like, that's not the weird that we need to be going for. That's
Yes.
the weird we need to be
Exactly.
taking care of. So, anyways, yeah,
That's just it, because I feel like and then you throw on now potentially losing the biggest
oh
like
yeah,
revenue bringer into the air. It's like, okay, that's something's
I
got to
know.
give there, but
Something's got to go. I hope it
I don't
doesn't
know. I
happen.
know they
There's
vote.
experts that say both that they don't think it's going to happen, but it's the closest it's
Yeah.
ever been to happening. So.
Yeah. Yeah. The vote
But
is
yeah,
on the
you were saying
12th.
about the vote.
So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just for the Moda Center repairs and stuff, right? The
mhm.
remodel and stuff like that. And that's a
Yeah.
step in the right direction, but you've got a guy that's saying, "Give me a reason to leave." And
Mhm.
so I hope that
Yes.
Portland City Council and the state is saying, "We have got to keep it." This is not just a Portland issue. The state of Oregon needs to
Oh
be
yeah.
actively addressing this. And I sometimes you got to like eat crow and kiss his
Mhm.
ass a little bit, and say,
Sure.
"What do you need to keep you
Uh-huh.
here? Like, we'll give it to you."
Yeah.
Because I think this is going to be a big blow. This is not a Seattle scenario where we're like, oh, we still have the Mariners and the Seahawks and
And
the Kraken
Seahawks
and everyone else and the
right.
Sounders, and we have the Space Needle and we have the ports and we have like we
Yes.
don't. That's not the same city. So don't
Uh-huh.
come in all cocky, Oregon, and think that we're like, if you
Right.
don't want to be here, we don't need you. It's like, no, we need
Uh-huh.
you. Like,
Yeah.
we need you big time. So
Right.
yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. As
I
to
know.
housing, I think, personally, I think if they leave, I think the housing market is not going to do better. Like,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, now why do I live in Portland? Now it's
Right.
like I don't
Everybody's
even
going
have
to
the
come over here to
Blazers to go
Vancouver.
to. Like, so yeah, I know, and people do. Like,
Sure.
there has been that kind of influx of that. So,
Mhm.
anyways, well, there's Cody and I's opinion, which means nothing
Yep.
to anyone, but at least
Right.
we
But I will be
we have a platform to use and we're going to use it.
yeah, exactly.
But
I love the Blazers. I
yes,
love seeing
know.
them in
And
the playoffs,
and I honestly love Portland, and I love the
I do
Blazers,
too.
and I love like that we have that thing, and I would love to have a MLB team here. I'd love to have an NFL
Oh
team. Like,
man,
if we could have
that'd
an
be so much fun.
environment that like brought these things in, it's only going to help
Yeah.
everyone. And so
Mhm.
I don't want to see it go. I hope the leaders and the political leaders are doing the right thing and not using their own personal hatred or bias against businesses and multimillionaires to ruin a town. So
Yeah, leave us multimillionaires alone, okay?
yeah,
We're
exactly.
good people.
Exactly. Like, we got podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. For the people.
Yes. If speaking of podcasts, Venture with Joe and Cody. If you haven't already subscribed and like and subscribe to our stuff, we're on social media as well.
Yeah.
So go find us if you want to look and buy and sell in Oregon and Washington. Cody works a ton of other different places, but if you want to buy and sell in Oregon, I'm here. If you want to buy and sell in a lot of places in the U.S., Cody can do that. So
Yeah, I was just slinging loans everywhere.
Just slinging loans all over the U.S. But
We just got Kentucky recently,
oh,
so if
boom,
anybody
baby.
listening is in Kentucky,
Love it. Love
hit
it.
me up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, it was good talking to you. Until next week,
Hey,
we'll
you too.
see you soon.
Awesome. Sounds good.